Although most of the surrounding counties have already belonged to Cao Cao, only Yecheng has been unable to be conquered for a long time. As the headquarters of the Yuan family, Yecheng is exceptionally strong and sturdy. Shanpei, who is responsible for guarding the city, has a strong character and is difficult to summon him surrender. In order to capture the city, the Cao army built earthen mountains, dug tunnels, and erected scaling ladders. All possible methods had been used, but they still couldn't work. Shanpei's general Feng Li conspired to surrender with the city, and he ordered someone to secretly open a small door in Yecheng, causing over 300 soldiers of Cao's army to rush into the city in an instant. But this behavior was discovered by Shanpei in time. He ordered the soldiers to push down the large stones prepared in advance from the city wall, and the small door was completely closed. The 300 soldiers who entered the city were all killed. In May of the year 204 AD, the Cao army dug trenches outside the city, attracting water from Jiangshui River to pour into the city, completely cutting off the connection between Yecheng and outside. In July of the same year, Yuan Shang, who was still attacking Ping Yuan, led more than 10,000 troops back to rescue Yecheng. In order to establish contact with the defenders inside the city, Yuan Shang sent the chief clerk Li Fu to try to enter the city. Therefore, Li Fu pretended to be the special envoy of Cao army, and with only 3 cavalry, swaggered to the south gate of Yecheng. After arriving, Li Fu shouted loudly. Shanpei heard Li Fu's voice, and ordered the defenders at the top of the wall to put down the rope, and hang the 3 of Li Fu up. Seeing Li Fu, Shanpei was filled with sorrow and joy, shouting, "Long live!" The soldiers reported to Cao Cao, who smiled and said, "This is a talent. Look, since this person can enter, there is a way out." Li Fu knew that pretending to be Cao's man would definitely be pointless, so he asked Shanpei to release some of the old and weak to save food. Shanpei selected thousands of the old and weak, and asked them to hold white flags. Take advantage of the night to go out from the 3 city gates together and surrender to Cao Cao. Li Fu led the 3 cavalry, dressed as old and weak, to blend in with the crowd and leave calmly. Soon, Yuan Shang's army arrived at Yangping village, 17 miles away from Yecheng. Shanpei also led his army out of the city and stationed in the north, preparing to pincer attack Cao Cao both inside and outside with Yuan Shang, and break through the encirclement of the Cao army. Seeing this situation, Cao Cao ordered the front army to hold their ground, and led the rear army to launch a fierce attack on Shanpei, who had fewer soldiers. Shanpei could not resist, and had to retreat to the city. Later, Cao Cao gathered his entire army to attack Yuan Shang. After a fierce battle, Yuan Shang was also defeated, and retreated to the bank of Jiangshui River. Cao Cao immediately led his army to attempt to surround Yuan Shang. Yuan Shang knew he was not a match for Cao Cao, so he sent Yin Kui and Chen Lin to ask for surrender, but was rejected by Cao Cao previously. Xu Rong, Lu Bu, Zhang Xiu, Yuan Shu, Liu Bei, and Yuan Shao, each opponent had caused great troubles for Cao Cao. He had played high-level competitions for a lifetime, but suddenly faced a level 8 player like Yuan Shang. Cao Cao seemed to be unsatisfied and addicted to playing. Seeing that Cao Cao did not agree, Yuan Shang fled overnight and led his remaining soldiers to Lankou. Cao Cao followed closely behind and surrounded Yuan Shang again. Yuan Shang's generals Ma Yan, Zhang Yi, and others surrendered in battle. At this point, Yuan Shang's army was completely scattered. Yuan Shang fought hard to break through the encirclement and fled to Zhongshan. The Cao army captured all of Yuan Shang's supplies and received his seal. Cao Cao ordered people to show them to the defenders of Yecheng, and their mentality suddenly collapsed. Shanpei loudly encouraged the soldiers to hold on and took advantage of Cao Cao's patrol outside the barracks to ambush and shoot with a strong crossbow, almost hitting Cao Cao. From May to August, Yecheng had been besieged for 3 months, with no food supply in the city, and over half of the population starving to death. At that time, Shen Pei's nephew Shen Rong was responsible for guarding the East Gate. On the night of August 2, 204 AD, Shen Rong opened the city gate, and let Cao Cao's army enter the city, causing the fall of Yecheng. At that time, Shen Pei was standing on the corner tower, and happened to see the scene of Cao's army entering the city. He knew that he was powerless, so he ordered someone to urgently go to the prison in the city, and execute all of Xinping's family who were imprisoned there. After being captured alive, Shen Pei was taken to the front of Cao Cao, always speaking frankly and cursing incessantly. Cao Cao admired his loyalty and righteousness. At first, he didn't want to kill him, but Xinping's younger brother Xinpi was on the side, crying for the death of his entire family. Cao Cao had no choice but to order the execution of Shen Pei. Yuan Zi's wife, Lady Zhen, came from a prominent family in Jizhou, and is renowned for her gentleness, virtuous demeanor, and both talent and beauty. After Yuan she was appointed as the governor of Yuzhou. Lady Zhen stayed in Yecheng to serve her mother-in-law, Lady Liu. Cao Cao has always had a habit of collecting wives of other men. After entering Yecheng to handle important military affairs, he summoned Lady Zhen, while being reported that Cao Pi had already been there. It turned out that on the night of August 20th, after Shen Rong let Cao's army into the city, Cao Pi, who was in a hurry, led his troops straight towards Yuan's mansion. Lady Zhen was so afraid that she lay her head on Lady Liu's lap. Lady Liu is a woman who can do anything to save herself. Even his own biological son Yuan Tan can act as a hindrance secretly, letting alone the illegitimate Yuan Shi and Lady Zhen, her daughter-in-law, who had nothing to do with her. Seeing Cao Pi's evil look, Lady Liu immediately understood his intentions. Faced with such an opportunity that not only could she survive, but could also continue to enjoy glory and wealth, Lady Liu, who had already become a worldly wise person, how could she miss it? He held Lady Zhen's chin with her hand, and forcefully lifted her daughter-in-law's head, saying, "Please take your time to appreciate it. To put it bluntly, it should be called inspection." As soon as Cao Pi saw Lady Zhen, she was indeed beautiful, and unparalleled in beauty. He was so greedy that he scratched his ears and cheeks. That night, he went to bed with Lady Zhen. After learning about it, Cao Cao officially bestowed Lady Zhen to Cao Pi as his wife. That year, Cao Pi was 18 years old, and Lady Zhen was 22 years old. Later on, Cao Cao did indeed treat Yuan Shi's family well. Not only did retain the treasures of the Yuan family, which plundered by soldiers, but also rewarded them with a lot of property and paid the living expenses on time. Lady Liu was able to maintain her wealth and prosperity for life. From that year on, Cao Cao moved his headquarters to Yecheng, and all his legitimate generals and advisors also moved north. As the capital of the Eastern Han Dynasty, Shudu only retained the residence of Emperor Xian and some officials. 1 year later, in the year 205 AD, Cao Cao returned the seal of the governor of Yanzhou, and was appointed as the governor of Jizhou. The headquarters of the Yuan family, Yecheng, has since become the center for issuing political and military orders in northern China.